This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of Gun Sports Radio, where your hosts Dave Stahl, Lance Pelkey, and Michael Schwartz educate you on anything and everything related to our Second Amendment right. Visit gunsportsradio.com with your questions and comments, or to learn how to become a sponsor and or guest of the show. Now here comes Hour 2 of Gun Sports Radio, and your hosts Dave, Lance, and Michael.
All right, folks, welcome back. This is FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Our second hour sponsor is Cali Key. Cali Key is our very good friends of ours, and they have a fantastic product. Drop in a Cali Key into any AR-15 or AR-10 to instantly make it California compliant. For more information, check out Cali Key at calikey.com. That's K-A-L-I-K-E-Y, K-A-L-I-K-E-Y.com. Hey, how about self-defense and emergencies? Can happen to anyone, you know that? And they're really unfortunate, but what are you going to do? The justice system may not be on your side while you protect your family and property. U.S. LawShield is here to defend you 24/7, 365 days a year with a comprehensive self-defense coverage at an affordable price. Bad guys don't take days off, and neither does our coverage. What's your plan after you defend yourself or your family? Consider a plan from U.S. LawShield. Check them out today at uslawshield.com. That's uslawshield.com. All right. Hey, this segment is brought to you by the good folks at San Diego County Gun Owners. That's www.sdcgo.org. $10 a month. You can't beat it. The benefits are tenfold. Need to join them today. That's sdcgo.org. And you can get yourself a voter's guide. You can get all kinds of shooting socials. And if you become a 10-ring member, Michael will buy you breakfast.
Yep, he will.
Right?
Or lunch.
Or lunch. Or dinner.
And our big Christmas party's coming up, too.
That's right. It's
Tuesday the 11th.
Tuesday the 11th. Yep. But right now, we got Joe Drammissi, the blogger. What are you doing? Oh, pulling out his phone.
Wrestling here with the phone.
But, I know. You lost.
Yes, I am here. So, and you want to know what I'm going to talk about today,
yes,
right?
we do.
That's what you usually ask. Okay. So, what we thought we'd talk about today is the thing that I wrote about this week and what's going on in Virginia right now. And, you know, some people are saying the revolution may have begun in Virginia. So what's going on back there is they just had their election, their statewide elections, and Michael Bloomberg and all the usual suspects pumped a lot of money into the elections. And the result is they were able to elect a very anti-Second Amendment governor, and they were able to get a legislature back there that is pretty anti-Second Amendment. So right off the bat, they're going to start passing these laws. You know, the same. If you look at, and I want to say it's in the article. It's SB 18, SB 16. I think it's 18. Is their big anti-Second Amendment.
SB 16.
16. There we go. And that's their big anti-Second Amendment thing that they're probably going to vote into law once they all take power back there. And it's interesting because what's the reaction of the people back there is what's interesting. So remember last week we were talking about the Second Amendment sanctuary ordinances, and these are counties and cities around the country that are declaring themselves Second Amendment sanctuaries, where they are going to not enforce basically laws that are unconstitutional, basically concerning the Second Amendment, or they weren't going to compel their law enforcement agencies to assist in enforcing those things. And that's spreading around the country. Well, what happened in Virginia is they have 23 different counties now in Virginia that have passed Second Amendment sanctuary ordinances. And of the 23 that passed those, they were all 22 of the 23 passed those things in November. So all this stuff is directly related to the election and the people that got elected. The other thing that's significant is that there are 52, I believe, other counties that are going to consider passing one of these amendments. And all of these things are on their schedules in all these 52 other counties for the December meetings. So all of this stuff is a direct result of the election. So what's happening there is the people in Virginia are paying attention to this, and they're waking up and they're saying, no, we're not going to do this. And it's interesting because there's only, 95 counties, I believe, in Virginia.
Yeah, 95. It's 3 times as many as California.
Yeah, and they're about a quarter of the area of California,
or twice
miles wise.
Yep.
And because I think we're about 170,000 square miles, and I think they're like 49,000 or something like that. But it's interesting. Their counties are smaller, but 75 of the 95 counties have taken action. That's huge. And it's interesting that pretty much all of that has happened in November, or it's scheduled to happen in December, which means it's directly related to what's going on back there. And I think it's very significant. I think that the people are standing up and taking action. What's going to be interesting is when the laws, when these things do come in the law, it'll be interesting then to see what happens. Because is the state going to try to enforce these laws? Are the counties not going to assist? It'll be very interesting to see what goes on back there. And that's something that Californians should be watching, because we talked about this, I think, last week. We have, 58 counties. We have 40 million people out here, almost 400 cities in California. We have one Second Amendment sanctuary area, and that's the city of Needles. And that's it. And you have to ask why. Why? I could understand counties like Los Angeles and San Francisco and Marin County and all those places. It's a little bit tough there. But we've got a lot of rural areas that are, allegedly conservative, a lot of gun-owning people there, but apparently no one's brought this stuff up yet, at least in the California county. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on in Virginia and how that influences everything else.
So I have a question about the sanctuary counties in Virginia. I don't know if you got this deep, but what is the action? I'm all for PR. Like, if you make a statement, get out there in front of it and make a statement. But is it just a statement, or do they have teeth? And I know we talked a little last week, but I think that there's the impression that Needles passed this, or some of these other cities passed this, and therefore the laws just disappear. And I don't think that's the case, though. No. How does it work in Virginia? I don't know if you got that deep into it.
No, I didn't get into research that, but when I was looking at the article last week, I looked at, because there are 4 states that have passed these, that their governors have signed these things. Yeah. And in those states, the way they've worded it, and it was, Alaska who did it a while ago, like in 2010, I think. And then there was Idaho, Wyoming, and Kansas, I think was the 4th one. And what they did at the state level, they worded it such that their law enforcement agencies can't be compelled by federal agencies to enforce these kinds of laws. And those were directed, I think a lot of them, not so much Alaska's, but the others at the red flag laws that were going around. So that's why I'll be interested to see. I haven't looked at the wording on any of the ones in Virginia, because I think it was just interesting to me that they were all directly in response to what's going on there, because they all happened in November and December. But it'll be interesting to see, how they enforce that, or what happens when the state does enforce that. Because I suspect what's going to happen is, a lot of those places probably, they're not going to say that, we're going to defy the law necessarily. They're just not going to assist in enforcing that kind of stuff. And I think, unfortunately, what's probably going to happen is there's going to be citizens they're going to be made examples of, and there's going to be bad stuff like that that's going to go on. But it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out.
But, and again, the statement's important. It's really important. That's one of the ways we got the CCW policy changed in San Diego, was getting the city of Santee to say, hey, look, we officially, as a city council, oppose, the current policy. Please change. And that's, one of the pieces that help change the policy. So this stuff works. This is absolutely important.
Well, and that's exactly what we were talking about, I think, the last segment, where we were saying, the words matter. And the fact that 75 counties, and these are the officials of the counties, the supervisors, the people that lead the counties, stood up and said, no, we're not going to tolerate that. That should have huge weight and huge effect back there. So it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. Because like you're saying, words are important. And when you get cities and counties and official bodies like that to actually stand up and say, no, we can't, you guys can't do this, that does have an effect. So it'll be very interesting to see how that goes.
And Virginia is California circa like 1998. I mean, they're talking about an assault weapon ban and magazine ban and even restrictions on teaching people, on instruction.
If you read through that SB 16, it's all, a lot of the stuff is stuff we already have as law out here. What's unique or what's different, because the anti-gun people always go further, they always take another step. What's different there is that there's no grandfather clause.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal, because that means people that go to bed one night as law-abiding citizens are going to wake up as criminals, because it's not that, your old things that are going to be banned are not going to be, grandfathered in.
All right. If you folks want to get more of Joe's blogging, go to SanDiegoCountyGunOwners.com. Right?
/blog,
and you will find all of his update and look at it every week. That way it keeps him on his toes. All right, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome back. This is FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
This is Gun Sports Radio. This segment's brought to you by Cali Key. California's assault weapon laws makes it almost impossible to own an AR rifle. What's the solution? Cali Key. It'll convert any mil-spec direct impingement AR platform rifle into a straight pull bolt action rifle, so it can have all the features without being considered an assault weapon. It's a true drop-in solution, no milling, no aesthetics, modifications, and no turning off your gas system. Keep your entire AR collection intact at a price you can afford with Cali Key. Check out Cali Key at CaliKey.com. That's KALIKEY, KALIKEY.com. And are you planning on doing a home remodel? Maybe a beautiful kitchen, a room addition, or maybe build your whole house? We have got the guys for you. TDT Construction does it all. Don't overpay. Give TDT a call, and you can get them at 619-448-2353, 619-448-2353, or you can go to the website at tdtbill.com. That's tdtbill.com, and they're a A+ rated at the Better Business Bureau. All right, are you looking for a private instruction to get a CCW? Maybe you're not into crowds, and you're looking for somebody that will do it one-on-one. Well, we've got the guy for you, John Groff. He has been providing individual CCW training classes for the first-timers and people renewing their permits for years. John can arrange a time to fit your schedule and an affordable price. He's got a calming and professional demeanor, and he loves to help. Give John a call at 619-933-4368. That's 619-933-4368. And ask for John. And if you stop by Gun Range San Diego, he'll be there as well. All right, our next guest coming up right now is the U.S. LawShield attorney, Edwin Walker. How you doing, Edwin?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
We're just doing hunky-dory.
We're so glad you called in from the great state of Texas.
Well, yeah, it's good to be here in the great state of Texas.
It's got to be, man.
Yeah, it's got to be better than California.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. So tell us, Edwin, what are you seeing as far as trends and that kind of thing with CCW, red flag laws, and the rest of that stuff? What are you guys representing a lot, and what are you doing?
Well, it's kind of interesting. Mostly, for one thing, we don't have red flag laws here in Texas yet. We actually have sort of we do have a protective order law. We just simply don't call it a red flag law. And we've actually been fairly successful in lobbying the legislature. Texas has a really strong gun rights organization, the Texas State Rifle Association. We assist them in lobbying efforts, and there's a lot of grassroots opposition actually to red flag laws here in the state of Texas, at least the red flag law that they're wanting to put through, which would kind of make it very open-ended. Right now, as it stands, the police here in Texas are authorized to make a warrantless arrest of somebody that they believe presents an immediate danger to themselves or somebody else. But of course, the red flag laws that have been going into the other states, they want to greatly expand that to relate to a dangerous, and which that's one of the troubles of every law, is that they never ever define what a dangerous activity is or what dangerous conduct is. And so that, of course, opens the door to pretty much anything, including acts of speech, acts of free speech being considered dangerous enough to get somebody put on the, have a warrant issued against them to have the police come out and take their weapons. So fortunately, we've been able to stop that here in Texas, but it is an issue that is not going away. I mean, it's sort of typical of the anti-gun folks is they find some point or some piece of legislation that they just pound and pound and pound across the United States until they get it enacted in a few places, and then say, "Oh, look, this should be enacted everywhere."
Right.
Things like y'all's, out there in California, things like your quote unquote assault weapons bans, magazine capacity bans, the fact that every single private gun transaction has to go through an FFL dealer, so background check. These are ideas that in no way cut down on either the lethality of a firearm or the illegal behavior that a firearm is used to perpetrate. The whole background, I guess the one thing that, we are here in the great state of Texas, but there is and I'm not saying this to disparage anybody, of course, who's listening to the show, but, in the last 10, 15 years, we have seen a large amount of migration from California to Texas. And unfortunately, these folks are, they're coming to Texas because we got a lot going for us, but they're bringing their California ideals. And so, And so there has now become a political slogan here in Texas that says, "Don't California my Texas."
I never understood that, because the people that are leaving California aren't the the anti-gun group. They're the people that are sick of California and going to. I would think that the immigrants from California would be making California, more gun friendly, or And by the way, I'm against the mass exodus to California. In fact, I think more of you folks in Texas need to move to California and help us fight, because here's where the battle is.
I'd put a wall up,
or send money.
I'd put a wall up.
But it seems like I've been hearing that more and more often about the kind of the anti hey, don't come from some other state. But it seems like they're more of the people that are moving there are in line with what's already happening in Texas. Is that, what's making people believe that the folks coming from other states are, trying to Californianize Texas? I'm just curious.
Well, because Austin is a great example. So Austin is supposedly the new Silicon Valley. And so what is bringing a lot of former California residents to Texas is the fact that their jobs are moving here, their companies are moving here. So they're not, these are generally not people who are saying, "Hey, I am tired of California's regulations, their taxes, their gun laws, their welfare state." They're not saying that, looking for a better place to live. What they're saying is, "Great, now I got to move to Texas because my job moved to Texas, and now I'm getting transferred to Austin."
I see. So that makes a lot of sense.
I've come from this state that has all these things that I believe in, and now I'm going to try to impose them on the state of Texas. And which, I heard your earlier segment about the sanctuary county movement that's happening in Virginia, and we actually have, I don't know that it's totally necessary, and it's definitely symbolic more than substantive. We have that here in Texas too. We have several counties that are sort of proactively calling themselves or declaring themselves to be sanctuary counties or the like, even though there's no current anti-gun laws, state anti-gun laws at least, that they're fighting against. They're doing it proactively because just a little bit of Texas state history here. I know that in California, y'all have a permanent legislature. Your legislature is in session the entire year round every year. Is that correct?
Yep. 3,000 bills a year they sign.
3,000 bills a year. Well, see, here in Texas, we have a very proud history of being anti-authoritarian, in which there's a common saying that says, if the Texas legislature is in session, no man is safe. And so our forefathers, whenever they drafted the most recent version of our Texas Constitution that we're living under, was passed in 1876 during Reconstruction, or immediately after Reconstruction left the state of Texas. It said that the Texas legislature only meets for 5 months every other year. Okay? So we do not have a professional permanent legislature, and whenever a bill does not pass by the end of the legislative session, it is gone. It is dead. It doesn't stand a chance of coming back. It has to be refiled from square one as a brand new bill 2 years later when the legislature meets again. So,
you guys are responsible for Beto, though, so don't get too...
Well, no, El Paso is responsible for that.
Well, El Paso, Texas.
Hey,
yes,
by the way,
just to show you how El Paso is different, they're actually in the mountain time zone, whereas the entire rest of the state is in the central time zone.
Well, let me just say one thing. Because of that last statement you made, don't be blaming us if half of California comes running to Texas. It's your fault. It's your legislation seems to be doing the right thing. God, can you imagine if Sacramento did that? They'd have a heart attack.
I'd buy him a ticket.
Well, what I was going to say is that our legislature fortunately only meets 5 months every 2 years. However, this past legislative session, they meet on odd-numbered years, and so we had one here in 2019. Unlike the last 20-plus years of legislatures that we've had, in this session there were 60 gun bills filed, 60 bills that would either affect your gun rights or your self-defense rights, and 45 of those were anti-gun or anti-self-defense bills. And so that was a disturbing trend because there were several state legislative seats. The Republicans used to have a supermajority in the Texas Senate. They don't have that anymore. They used to have a substantial majority in the House. They don't have that anymore. There were several seats that were flipped from Republican to Democrat, and so it is, unfortunately we are seeing, and I live in Harris County, which is now totally Democrat, which up until, 5 years ago was totally Republican. And so things can flip very, very quickly. And the thing about it is Texas used to have a very proud tradition of Democrats who supported gun rights. So you can believe in all of the other democratic ideals. You can believe in, business regulation. You can believe in minimum wages. You can believe in the welfare state. You can believe in, every other democratic ideal that you want. But here in Texas, at least, you also had people that believed in gun rights in addition to all those things. Those Democrats do not exist anymore, at least here in Texas. I don't know if they ever existed in California, but they do not exist here anymore. And more, gun rights has become a litmus test for progressing in the Democratic Party. We see that gun rights is absolutely right now 100% a partisan issue, and so that's why everybody has to remember that if you do support gun rights, every election is important. Every election is important, no matter what the office is.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and like I said, when you're starting to see Virginia, everybody thinks California starts it, and then it all bleeds across the United States. So I was kind of surprised that Virginia would do what it's doing, because now it's starting on the East Coast, and all the other states are just watching when these states do these laws just to see how the reaction is. And if it's favorable, they're gonna take it up. So we have to fight, and the only way to do that is in the ballot box.
You're absolutely correct.
All right, buddy. Hey, it was really good chatting with you, and I got a sneaky feeling you're going to be coming on again in the near future. So
yes, sir. Well, at U.S. LawShield, we love your show, and we'd love to have the opportunity to participate.
Well, have no fear. I think Lance will be definitely giving you a call. So
Thank you,
enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll talk to you down the road.
You too.
All right, folks, we're going to take a small break, but there's a whole lot more. We still got 30 more minutes of rip-roaring gun sports radio news on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
By the way, did you know, folks, that you can go to gunsportsradio.com and download the podcast shows that we've been running? Super easy. And Lance even found one of these little square things that you click your phone on it. It's some kind of a reader.
Yeah, that's a QR code.
QR code, and boy, it pops right up.
But you can get the show just by going to asking Siri or Alexa or whatever you want to ask. The thing will show up. So tell your friends.
I don't talk to her.
It's fabulous.
I don't talk to her.
Oh, well, she listens to you.
She don't listen to me. I don't even like her. Hey, do you need to take a CCW class for your San Diego CCW? Well, do you want an Arizona, Florida, or multi-state CCW? Visit ccwusa.com. That's ccwusa.com. They offer small class sizes, expert instructions to fit your schedule and your wallet. 3 classes every month, 2 weekend classes, and 1 Friday class. That's Friday, the next class. You've got all the December class. Oh, we're in December.
Yeah, we're in December, Dave.
Yeah, December 13th. What am I doing?
Welcome, Dave. December 1st
Happy
today.
Thanksgiving.
And December 5th, 7th, and the 21st.
Poor guy.
8 a.m. private lessons too, all to meet your busy schedule. Check their website for details on how to apply for your CCW. And for more information, go to ccwusa.com. That's ccwusa.com. Have you folks been to A.O. Sword Firearms in El Cajon lately? Well, they've got the widest selection of guns in San Diego County with over 600 unique guns in stock, including hundreds of used guns. Go see their full-service experienced gunsmith, and they can do anything from mild repairs to full custom firearms. A.O. Sword Firearms stores located at 929 East Main Street in the city of El Cajon. Go to their website at aosword.com or call them at 619-749-4867. You can build, buy, or repair. A.O. Sword Firearms is your go-to place for all things firearms. That's aosword.com. Or call them at 619-749-4867. Right now, we have our firearms technical expert, David Chong, on the line. Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Hi, guys. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. We're still surviving.
That's good. It's good.
It was.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you're on. What do you got? What do you got for us today?
Well, I was thinking about the past 2 weeks, talking about barrel twist rates and some of the misconceptions about whether it's related to bullet weight or bullet length. And when people ask us what the best twist rate is, they're surprised to hear that there is no best twist rate. Sometimes it's 1 in 7, sometimes it's 1 in 9, sometimes 1 in 8, or even 1 in 10, depending on what ammo you're running out of what barrel and what caliber and for what purpose. I got a lot of stuff to talk about on that. However, this afternoon, Lance sent me a text and said, "Hey, David, I got a lot of questions about Cerakote." And so I'd be happy to answer any questions about Cerakote. We do full service Cerakote coatings in-house. We don't farm it out. And so that keeps us pretty busy throughout the year doing custom coatings. Some people are looking to restore a finish on a gun that's had its factory finish wear off. Other people are looking for something pretty for their lady in or themselves in we've got Tiffany blue and rose gold and all sorts of glittery colors. We also do custom camouflage patterns or even vanity patterns like from brand names or someone's initials or something cool they saw in their favorite movie. it's a pretty fun process, and there's a lot that goes into it to make it good and lasting and high quality.
Well,
so, Lance, did you have some questions?
Yeah. Go ahead, Lance.
Well, I was just going to say, could you just tell our listeners, what exactly is a Cerakote? So is it a powder coating, or is it some other kind of process?
Sure. It is a ceramic-based high-tech coating. It's extremely thin, so when applied, it is only between 1 mil and 3 mils thick on either side of the part, so that really doesn't interfere with typical clearances in a firearm, which have at the closest usually 5 mils of tolerance on either side. Every once in a while, when you have a really tightly fitted, for example, we do a lot of high-end 1911s. We build custom 1911s for the Paula match shooters and the match shooters at Lemon Grove Rod and Gun and South Bay. So they got some really finely tuned 2011s and 1911s and so forth. Sometimes we do have to fit them after coating, but for the most part, on an AR style or most of your striker-fired guns, there's no fitment required. The ceramic base actually makes it more corrosion resistant than factory coatings. And also just the nature of its lubricity, and after it's heat hardened and cured in an oven, it's harder and more durable than pretty much any factory finish out there, other than nitride treatment, which is really, really tough.
So is it a solution for, like, if you're having a rust issue? Is Cerakote a solution for that, or do you have to solve the rust issue first, or how does that work?
So both, yeah. So with any rust issue, no matter what either treatment or coating you go with, you are going to have to solve the underlying corrosion issue first, and hopefully you get to it. You decide to do something about it before it results in pitting, because that's actual pockets in the metal that we can't fix anymore. We've got to address somehow else. But with a rust, we're going to address the rust first, stop that, and then hopefully just media blast it so that it's nice and smooth, a porous surface that's ready to accept coating. And then you have to degrease the parts. Most parts have been in a oiled environment for gun assembly, and we've got to get all of that out of the part. Sometimes that takes multiple treatments to get all of the oil to come on out of the part. Don't want any oil underneath your coatings. Prep, as any painter, house painter, car painter, any coating applicator will tell you, prep is 75% of the job. So we got to get all that out of there. Sometimes we even have to pre-bake the metal to get the oil to weep out of the pores. And of course, we also do complete disassembly. That's something that's fairly unique to us. We've corrected several Cerakote jobs that were coated assembled, where they just did a media blast on the assembled or only partially disassembled gun, and then you get underspray on areas that were covered by the gun's assemblies.
I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that real quick, because I've seen a lot of that where people think a Cerakote, oh yeah, I can get this nice design put on my AR, whatever the case may be. But then these things are jamming and all this other kind of stuff. So Cerakote, just because someone does it, doesn't mean they do it right. Also, too, sometimes there's got to be some milling done, especially with some ARs when they're done. So I appreciate you bringing up the fact that you guys have to, fix some of the jobs that were done.
We do, and it's not to badmouth anybody out there. And we've certainly had our instances where we've had to go, oh wow, this gun doesn't want to go back together, and you got to gunsmith it afterwards and fix it.
Yes,
to clearance it out. But like I said, for the most part, most guns have tolerances that will accept the very thin layer of Cerakote that makes a complete coating. In other cases, especially with a multi-color a camouflage job, you're adding layer after layer, and that can start to create a hundredth of an inch of stacking tolerance, and then you do have to expect that you're going to have to do some clearancing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I've seen, a lot of people who'll, they'll take their pedestrian Glocks and, and Cerakote them and personalize them. So a lot of people do that with their Glocks or shotguns, their ARs. So it's
perfectly safe to Cerakote a Glock. Just one thing I want to caution all of our listeners out there is be sure your coder understands that it cannot be cured at the standard heat. You will warp a Glock frame or many of the polymer frames. They just cannot take the high heat of Cerakote oven. They have to be cured. They still have to be heat cured, otherwise that Cerakote is not going to be resilient. But they have to use a different heat setting for a different time. You can also use air cure, but it just does not have the same hardness principles as the oven cured Cerakote.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. And what if someone has a Cerakote that's scratching or whatever the case may be? So how difficult is it to redo it?
Not hard at all. I mean, it's basically, unfortunately, like getting a brand new Cerakote job done again. You do have to start at the very beginning, degreasing it, stripping it, and disassembling it, repainting it. The reason why is I did mention earlier, Cerakote is extremely lubricious. Water beads up on top of it. The coefficient of the friction is very low, so things slide across it very easily.
Yep.
And it's chemically resistant, but that also means that Cerakote will not stick to Cerakote that has been cured. So you have to get a new purchase on the gun. In some limited cases, touch-ups are possible. Just can bead blast that part and then coat over that one part.
I'm just going to Bondo it and rattle can it.
There you go. Then take it over there.
If it doesn't work, use more duct tape.
That's right.
Always.
And when you get all done doing that, then all you need to do is take it to A.L. Sword and they'll fix it for you. All right. Thanks a lot, Dave. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Take care.
All right, folks, we're going to take a small break. This is FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
California assault weapon laws make it almost impossible to own an AR pattern rifle. What's the solution? Cali Key. Convert any mil-spec direct impingement AR platform rifle into a straight pull bolt action rifle so it can have all the features without being considered an assault weapon. It's a true drop-in solution. No milling, no aesthetic modifications, no turning off your gas system. Keep your entire AR collection intact at a price you can afford with Cali Key. Check out Cali Key at calikey.com. That's K-A-L-I-K-E-Y. K-A-L-I-K-E-Y.com. Self-defense and emergencies can happen to anyone, and unfortunately, the justice system may not be on your side. While you protect your family and property, U.S. LawShield is here to defend you 24/7, 365 days a year with the comprehensive self-defense coverage at an affordable price. Bad guys don't take days off, and neither does our coverage. What's your plan after you defend yourself or your family? Consider a plan from U.S. LawShield. Check them out today at uslawshield.com. That's uslawshield.com. Thinking about doing a remodel? Maybe going to do not a remodel, but a refi? Where would you go? We recommend PRMI Mortgage. That's primeres.com/Alpine. With the interest rates dropping, this is a perfect time for you to give our good buddy Chris Wiley a call. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, or maybe even a reverse mortgage, call a mortgage guy that you can trust. Call Chris Wiley at PRMI Mortgage. For nearly 25 years, Chris has been helping local San Diegans with all their mortgage needs. Call Chris Wiley at 619-722-1303 or go to primeres.com/Alpine. All right.
All right, here we go. Our another segment of Stump My Nephew with Sam the Gunman, who is also my nephew. Every week we get questions that are sent in, and if we use your question, you get a T-shirt, and if you stump my nephew with your gun trivia question, then you also get a hat. And we have a particularly hard one today. Yeah, we're going to have to cross your fingers, Sam, because this one's really, really hard. Are you ready for this one?
Oh, man, I hope so.
All right, you don't have to get all...
He's all fine.
You don't have to get all cocky, kid. All right. Now I'm gonna make it even harder, I think. No. Okay, so this is Cindy from La Mesa. Cindy writes in, and she wants you to tell her what is the triple lock. What is the triple lock? And I think what she's looking for is a manufacturer. She's looking for the type, and I think she wants a little bit of backstory as to why it's called a triple lock.
Thanks very much for the question, Cindy. And yeah, this is a really hard one, and I'm not going to be able to completely answer it, but here's what I've got. The triple lock was a system implemented by Smith & Wesson on some of their revolvers. I forget the name of the product line, but it was around the turn of the last century. And the idea behind the triple lock was that there were 3 mechanical mechanisms locking the cylinder into the frame. And that way it was supposed to be safer for the newer, more powerful cartridges that they were beginning to chamber their revolvers for. But it was pretty expensive to manufacture them that way. And so they later dropped that because they could make revolvers that were just as safe that didn't have that triple lock mechanism.
Unbelievably obscure question. I cannot believe you got it right, but you gave every piece of information she asked for.
Yeah, that one was pretty ridiculously obscure. I had to go look through the mental filing cabinets there a little bit.
We're going to do the show on video one of these days, and you'll see us dying here because we're all going, "Oh my God, how would you get that one?"
I know. We're going broke, giving away hats
job,
and T-shirts now. You want a follow-up question real quick? What's the most popular caliber of the triple lock, the Smith & Wesson triple lock revolver?
Oh, now you're pushing.
I don't know. Probably 38 special would be my guess, but I don't know.
That question didn't count, but you got it wrong. It's 44 special.
Okay, close enough.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Great job.
Awesome. All right. Hey, we're going to let you go a little early today, my friend, because we have another caller on the line. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Great job, Sam.
You guys have a good night.
Thanks, Sam.
All right. Hey, Lance, are you there?
Well, thanks for having me on the show today, guys.
It's great to have you back, man. So you rolled out the dates. So tell us what you rolled out the dates on, and what are the dates?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gearing up for our 7th annual charity handgun rifle tactical shotgun course for leukemia, and it's always in the springtime. And so we've released the dates. In fact, we just opened up enrollment for it, and the dates is March 6th. And 7th for people that want to join us for 2 days, 6, 7, 8, and 9 for people that want to stay for the full 4 days. And we have so much fun putting this event on, and it just gets bigger and bigger every year. And this past year, actually the past couple years, we've raised over $36,000 each year in one single weekend for leukemia and lymphoma, and teaching a whole bunch of folks wonderful life-saving and fun firearm skills, and in a family training environment for such a good cause. And we just opened up enrollment for our 7th event.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's about 250 San Diego County residents that'll be up there, including Michael and Laura Schwartz. Joe Drammissi's going. I'll be going as well. And so we encourage you. What's the website?
The website for all the information is www.charitycourse.gives. That's charitycourse.gives. So it's not .com, it's .gives. And we've got all the information on the website, the when, where, how, why, the cost, and everything. And also a way to reach out to me with more questions. But it's an amazing event. It's hosted out at Frontsight Firearms Training Institute, which is in Nevada, just outside of Vegas. It's the largest civilian firearms training school in the country. In fact, it's the only firearm school in the country, big enough to handle the hundreds of people that come out for this event. And it's a 550-acre firearms training resort that teaches all weapon systems. And for this charity event, people will have the choice of shooting handgun, shooting tactical shotgun, taking a marksmanship rifle course, either one of those three.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. You could bring your shotgun, your AR, your pistol. Joe, you going to bring that Glock 34?
That's what I have been doing. Yeah, I think I may, or I may just bring the carry gun.
Well, hey, Lance, do you have any specials lineups for like hotel rooms and what have you?
No, we don't.
Okay.
Most people will stay at the Best Western in town or the Holiday Inn Express, but there's lots of Airbnb houses that people can stay in, choices like that. But the Best Western, the Holiday Inn Express those are the hotels most people will stay in.
Okay.
And so when people go to the website, they also get an opportunity to sign up for our email newsletter that sends out information. And some of the information that we send out by email is a list of the hotels, their phone numbers, to go ahead and make a reservation.
And then just to be clear, so they're going to sign up, on charitycourse.gives. That signs up for your event, and then separately they sign up for their own hotel reservations.
That's correct.
Yep, that's right.
And Lance,
Cool.
if you're wondering why I am not going, because I work during the week doing television, and unfortunately I can't bail on that.
He's a TV man.
In case you were wondering.
Yeah, anyway. You know what? We all got excuses, Dave.
Yeah, I know. All right, buddy. Thanks a lot, and have a great event.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Our pleasure.
Always good.
All right, folks. Hey, please support all our great sponsors. Firearms Legal Protection at firearmslegal.com. San Diego County Gun Owners, SDCGO.org, $10 a month. Come on. TDT Construction at tdbuilt.com. CCW USA at ccwusa.com. US LawShield at uslawshield.com. Cali Key at KALIKEY.com. Prime Mortgage, PRMI, and that's primeres.com/alpine.com. Gatsky, Dillon and Balance, LLP, or cafirearmslaw.com for a lawyer. John Groff for individual CCW training at 619-933-4368. The Gun Range San Diego, that's thegunrangesandiego.com. A.O. Sword Firearms Store at aosword.com. And I really want to give a big shout out to Lance Pelkey, our producer, Michael Schwartz, our co-host, Joe Drammissi, our big blogger, and Brendan Thomas, our board op. So go to gunsportsradio.com for podcasts and up-to-date information. Keep your family safe and listen to us every Sunday for updated news that you need to live by. Right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.